Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. They know. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping.
Yes, my raps are filled with rage.
One of these days, we gotta bust back for the homies.
You have to be logical. You know, if I know that in this hotel room they have food every day, and I'm knocking on the door every day to eat, and they open the door, let me see the party, let me see like them throwing salami all over just like throwing food around, but they're telling me there's no food in here. You know what I'm saying? Every day. I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. You know what I'm saying? We are hungry, please let us in. We are hungry, please let us in. After about a week, that song is going to change to we hungry, we need some food. After 2-3 weeks, it's like, give me all the food, breaking out the door. And after a year, you just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking the lock, coming through the door, blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like you hungry, you reached your level, you don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago. We was asking with the Panthers. We was asking with them, with civil rights movement. We was asking, now those people that were asking, they're all dead and in jail. So now what do you think we're gonna do? Ask?
I put my gun away and grab my AK. It's getting hectic. I can't call it. House full of alcoholics. Now a nigga's under pressure.
You are listening to Revive with host Sister POC on Time for an Awakening Media, part of the Black Talk Radio Network. For podcasting or live program scheduling, hit them up at timeforanawakening@gmail.com.
Hey, did y'all see the stuff I posted on my wall?
No, it didn't even show up in my news feed.
Man, I'm done with social media. All the injustice and brutality going around, and it's like they're trying to suppress our voice. We trying to get the message out there, and you can't even share empowerment and what's going on around the country either.
No, don't be dumb with social media, though. It's a tool, and there is a place where we have a voice. It's a Let's Buy Black 365 social network. You do anything you would on any other social network. Post pictures, videos, status updates, share resources and community news. But on Let's Buy Black 365, it's a platform for us and by us to tell our messages.
Whoa, that's like a digital underground railroad.
What's the name of that site again?
It's letsbuyblack365.com.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's all about networking, and you get points, right?
Yeah, the more you network, post, and share, the more points you get. Plus, you get points for posting pictures, sharing information, attending community events, and inviting others to network with you on the app.
Wow, that's all I need to know. I'm going to go download that app right now.
Now, better yet, let me invite you so I can get some points. It's all about empowerment and solutions, y'all.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm all in.
Let's do it. Let's share our stories.
Let's Buy Black 365.com.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Zarina, host of Talking the Walk, and I am here with my girl POC, who's always holding it down and supporting those who support her. You are live every morning with her from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., so you got to get up anyway, as she says, so get up with her, because you won't be getting up with me. And we'll see you then. All right.
You are listening to Revive Radio. The views and opinions expressed on Revive Radio does not necessarily reflect ownership, management, and advertisers of Revive Radio.
Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. All I need is one mic. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. It's about that time. It's your girl POC. Hey! It's your girl POC. Hey! Proof of consciousness. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. All I need is it's about that time. Welcome to Revive. Welcome to Revive. Yep. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl POC, host of Revive Radio, man. We are back live on Revive is Alive, ReviveIsAlive.com. And like I tell you each and every morning, you gotta get up anyway. So why not get it with your girl POC? Starting at 11 a.m. throughout this month of April, man. Each and every Monday and Wednesday, I am reviving your airways from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., man. You already know. Go ahead and tell a friend to spread the word, spread the message. Because Revive is Alive 365, 24/7 AM to the PM because of you. Yes, you, man. We truly appreciate everyone who has been supporting Revive, just keeping us alive throughout this entire pandemic situation, just making sure, you guys are giving us a listening ear, and then also just making sure that we are staying afloat and competing with, mainstream media as a independent media company, yo. It just truly feels amazing to get, the report, to get the, the acknowledgement from other outsiders, when it comes down to just this independent media game that Revive is in. So I just truly appreciate you guys for supporting us and keeping us afloat every day, always 24 hours a day. Don't forget, we are now live streaming on reviveisalive.com 365 24/7 AM to the PM. I'm talking to artists, I'm talking to poets, I'm talking to, producers, I'm talking to DJs, I'm talking to everyone out there, man. If you have some type of talent, this is what the Revive platform is all about. So definitely send us an email right now telling us what you got to offer at revive.poc@gmail.com. Don't forget, artists, if you have some new music, some old music, some quality sounding projects, make sure you guys send it our way so you can get in this Revive quality mix. We go live each and every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Soon as they let us out, we back on our regular scheduled program, man. So make sure you guys stay locked. Shout out to all the DJs that's been supporting us thus far. Shout out to the Assassins, my guy DJ D Ready, DJ Alex Plain, my guy DJ Shango, my guy DJ Reese, everyone who's truly, my girl DJ Crates, man, everybody who's been truly tuning in and supporting us, thus far. I'm just excited, honestly, truly. And we got a special guest coming through today. Today is 420, so we're talking everything, medicinal cannabis, just the culture of cannabis, how cannabis can help you throughout this whole COVID-19 situation. I am definitely a patient of the state here in Pennsylvania, so I'm a huge advocate for medicinal cannabis because it helps me in so many different ways for my medicinal reasons. So I definitely want to make sure that we're educating and re-educating our listeners and our supporters on how you too, if you have any symptoms or anything that you feel as though can be, revived from cannabis. That's what we're going to talk about today. And you can definitely join in on that conversation. 202-750-9112. Once again, every time we reviving your airways, your mercy, contact number is 202-750-9112. And today is Monday, so you already know we kicking off the Monday the right way. We kicking off the week actually the right way with some motivation. I got my guy Dr. Rob Lay on the line. Yo, Rob, you live on Revive. How you feeling? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I feel great. You know what I mean? Every day's running together, but I always feel great. You know what I mean? Every day's a new day to chase our dreams, get better, become a better version of ourselves. So that's what I aim to do today.
Yes.
Everything that I do today.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How you feeling?
I'm actually feeling really good. Yesterday, I would say I put in a lot of work that I didn't expect myself to do. I challenged myself to actually do something, and I actually accomplished that goal. So when I woke up this morning, it was like, all right, cool. What I'm gonna do today? Because I did everything yesterday. You know what I mean? So I feel actually, right. I feel really good. Like you said, everything is just running into each other. Only reason why I know it's Monday, honestly, is because I'm gonna be listening to your voice. I'm like, yeah, Rob coming. So today's Monday. You know what I mean? So,
I appreciate that.
yes, man. But I definitely agree with you. How was your weekend, for real?
Oh, now I'm trying to think what I did this weekend. It was good. Took some pictures of my wife. Did some headshots.
Staying busy. That's what's up.
Yeah. What was I doing this weekend?
You was creative too. Out. I definitely seen how you got in your creative bag with the whole the Omega thing that you did. That was big.
Oh yeah, the singing, yeah.
I was like, look at Rob trying to get creative over there.
we got all this time, so
yes.
Why not?
Yes, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today is Monday. Let's give them that motivation that they need.
All right. So that before I start, I think it's interesting that you brought up the whole medicinal marijuana, and that's going to fall right into sort of what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
So with that said, today is. It's another day to not only chase, but to obtain our dreams. And we are in it. We are deep into this quarantine period. I've lost track of weeks. We lose track of days. We are still in the house. We can't go outside. We can't live our regular lives. So today I like to talk about motivation from a different standpoint. I like to talk about the things that you need to do to stay motivated during this time. And yes, we talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm going to hit it from a different perspective. And what I'm talking about is taking care of your mental and physical health, and being mentally and physically able to not only pursue but chase your dreams in this environment. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be mentally focused all the time. It doesn't mean that you need to be in physical tip-top shape. What it does mean is that you need to make sure you're healthy enough and make sure you can think or focus enough to perform the duties that you need to do to pursue your dreams and live a long life. And then I say both of those, but we can pursue our dreams, right? Well, a lot of people can pursue your dreams just sitting down all the time. You'd be surprised. But we also want to live a long life, because once we obtain our dreams, we want to live that dream out for a long period of time.
Facts.
We didn't push this far, and we aren't going to push for so long just to hold on to our dream for a short time period. Now, that can mean a lot of things, but in this case, I'm referring to health-wise, right? And not letting our health state get in the way of us pursuing our dreams and keeping our dreams. Now, how do you stay healthy? That can mean a lot of things for many people. Let's talk about mental health. Whether or not you have to read a book, meditate, pray, take a walk, whatever you need to do to get yourself mentally, keep yourself mentally healthy in this period of time, you need to do it, because that's very important. We are in a time period where the numbers of, I think it is the numbers of abuse in households are going up. You know what I mean? And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at that, but I'm also very surprised at that. I'm sure the numbers of physical harm, like people hurting themselves and suicidal ideations, are also going up. Mm-hmm. So it is important for us to keep in mind our mental health and do whatever we need to do to stay mentally healthy, whether it's around the people in our house or by ourselves. And hopefully we're not alone. And that also might include us making sure we call our families, right? Have those communications, have those interactions with people. Get on those Zooms, right? We've heard a lot about those Zooms that have been going crazy. People doing random stuff. But you know what? That is a physical interaction that we need to stay mentally healthy and mentally focused while we're at home and while we're doing the little bitty steps to chase our dream. Now, mental health is not the only thing that we need to focus on. We also need to focus on our physical health. That is what's under the hood, right, as they might say, right? And to focus on our physical health, we have to try our best to stay active, right? Though we are stuck in the house, though we can't go anywhere, we can still take walks. I know we talked about that the other day, but people are still taking walks. You can still, a lot of people right now are doing free Zoom workouts, like free workouts on Facebook, on YouTube. Now, this is the time you can do that for free. So, take advantage of that opportunity. But another thing that seems to be playing a part right now is when people are bored, they just eat. And I have felt this and that numerous times. But it's important that if we know that it is happening, that we try to counteract that with the other things that we need to do to stay physically healthy, right? Because we don't want to come out of this. We don't want to spend the time doing the little things that might prepare us for chasing our dreams and obtaining our dreams when we come out of that, and not be in the right mental state or even physical state to do so after this quarantine is over. So we must do what it takes to stay mentally and physically healthy in this period of time. Oh, also, whether or not that means maybe you're going to dabble a little bit of medicinal marijuana. Right? Whatever you need to do to stay mentally and physically healthy during that period, we must do, because all these things are going to add up to us becoming a better version of ourselves. Even during this time period, we can still focus on number one, and you are number one, and we have to keep that in mind, because when this quarantine is over, or even now, our dreams are still out there. Our dreams are still out there for us to take, for us to grab. And we are takers, and we are going to take our dreams. No matter what, no matter how long this takes, we are going to do it. But you have to believe it, and you have to be ready to do that. And being ready comes with being mentally and physically ready and healthy and stable to do so. So with that said, I want you to do an inventory of how you're feeling, right? Ask yourself how you're doing. Write it down, right? Write down how you're doing. Review that. Figure out, am I mentally healthy? Do I feel mentally healthy? Am I physically healthy, right? And if the answer is no, then figure out ways or things you can do to help advance that part of your life. If the answer is yes, figure out what you can do to even better that part or keep that part stable. But we are also not alone in this. So if you're at home with a spouse, or maybe you have a friend up the street, everybody has family, call them. Make sure they are also mentally healthy, physically healthy. Ask them, how are you doing? Let's talk. Because people don't want to talk about their feelings, but that is what we need to do right now, because we are in this together. And when we are chasing our dreams, we can't do it by ourselves.
That's real.
The same people we need are the people who also need to be mentally and physically healthy for us to network with, right? So if you can first ask yourself how you're doing. Make the adjustments to do that. And after you do that, ask somebody else and help them make those adjustments. So go out there and do it. That is your homework for today, for the rest of the week. That's your home. You can do that every single day. That might be something you want to start with in the morning, or something you want to do right before you go to sleep. But figure out how you are today, because during this quarantine period, our dreams don't stop, the grind doesn't stop, and we need to be ready to keep going.
Facts.
So I want you to enjoy your day, and don't forget to show them how great you are. POC, let me ask you, how are you doing?
How am I doing overall? Or what do you mean? Like what do you mean when you ask me the question?
How are you doing mentally and physically?
Oh, yes. I'm glad you asked me that, because as you were talking, I was like, yo, I'm glad he brought this up, because I want to drop some information on that. If you are going through any type of mental health crisis, any type of physical abuse, any type of mental abuse, anything like that, the Pennsylvania governor website actually has contact information where you can contact someone to actually come out and help you. And that's once again at pa.gov. If you go to pa.gov, it actually is on the homepage. It says resources. It says behavioral resources. So if you are looking for any type of behavioral resources, and that follows under domestic violence, mental health abuse, mental abuse, anything like that, is right on the homepage at pa.gov. So I definitely wanted to make sure that we dropped that, because last week, Rob, when you were talking about, how things may be going up, we were talking with an officer out of New Jersey, and he was actually telling us that the domestic violence numbers in the state of New Jersey has, risen throughout this pandemic, because people are in the house. So, at one point you had an opportunity to get away from, your predator or someone who was beating on you, because you were able to go to work and go to school, whatever it may be. But now you're mandated to your home. So these things are happening and occurring more and more often. So that's definitely something I wanted to take a look at. So I'm glad that you actually brought that up, so I can drop that information. But me personally, my mental health is like a roller coaster. I was literally just telling, one of my friends, if I'm just being transparent, it's like I hopped off of the wave and got back on the ride. You know what I mean? At first I hopped off the ride to get on the wave to have fun with the floats that were going to go up and down. But now I feel like I'm back on the ride, and it's just spinning me in a little, a little spiral, because I'm not too sure what's going to happen after this, because as far as just my the entertainment industry and my industry alone, we really just don't know. It's just up in the air, as far as like concerts, venues, things like that, red carpets, media. So it's just like, we don't know until the government, and it's really on state governments. It's not even on the federal government anymore. It's on the local side. So me personally, I'm just waiting to see how the economy is going to shape itself back once all of this stuff is open, and we open up for sure as a country. So me personally, Rob, right. I'm on the ride right now. I'm not even riding the wave. wave. Everybody else, I'm just ride the wave. I'm like, yo, I'm seasick. I had to hop off that. I had to hop off that because I am just not for sure right now. What about you?
Wait a minute. Don't forget the other part of the question. How are you doing physically?
Oh, physically, I'm good. I've been riding my bike. That's how I've been keeping my mental intact. So every time, these four walls or this laptop of mine is, making me crazy, I just get up and I ride my bike. So I've been like truly riding my bike this entire month. Like I've been getting it in. So physically, I've been getting it in. Like my legs, my calf muscles is on a you know what I'm saying? Like on a beam right now. So I'm good as far as physical fit.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people nowadays, when they're bored, they just eat.
Oh no, I'm not eating.
Yeah. I mean, some people did. Some people aren't eating enough.
Yeah. If anything, Rob, I'm being creative with my meals. Like that's one thing that I said I have challenged myself to make different things. Cause when, before all this stuff went on, we were in a pandemic. We were just pretty much making the same thing over and over again, which was convenient. But now you have time to sit down and actually boil the carrot. You got time to put things in the oven. You got time to chop up the onions and peppers. Like, so as far as just eating, I've taken my time, to really experience what food is all about. And I'm using my NutriBullet like it ain't nothing. I mean, I'm making cold pressed juice. I'm making smoothies. I'm making all kinds of things. Yeah. So when it comes down to just being creative with the food, that's what I've been doing. But I haven't been overeating now. I haven't been excessively eating now.
Good. And real quick, I am going to answer the question on myself. But for those listening, POC just mentioned, what she's doing for health-wise and stuff like that. She mentioned how she's doing mentally. Some people maybe are in the same mental state that she might be in. Some people are in a different mental state. Some people feel like they're just riding a wave. Some people are, but if you are developing, and this goes back to what she said, especially physically, if you are developing some habits right now that you feel are really good for yourself, who knows when we'll get out of this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
But let's make sure we carry these good, healthy habits that we are creating right now outside of the quarantine, after the quarantine takes place. So if we're creating healthy habits of eating right, if you're creating those healthy habits of exercise and stuff like that, because you have time now, make sure we try to carry those habits outside once this quarantine is finally over. But in reference to your question about how
can I say one thing though about bad habits? I'm not even gonna lie and be transparent. I definitely have had some Oreos. And before the pandemic, I haven't had Oreos in like 4 or 5 years. So when I was going down the grocery, I was like, yo, I'm being in the house. I'm going to need a snack. I'm going to need some munchies. I ain't going to hold you. I grabbed me a pack of Oreos.
I mean, it is what it is. But the good habits that you are creating now, those are the ones I want, I would hope that you would,
Rob, you kind of breaking up.
Out of here.
You kind of break up. You was breaking up a little bit. I didn't hear what you said. What you say?
I said I want you to but those good habits that you're talking about. I want you to keep those good habits. As we go through this.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's real.
But in reference to me, how I feel. I mean, mentally, I feel good. A lot of times I've just been like focusing on my photography and learning how to do different skills that will allow me to be better when I go out. I mean, when I get done with this whole period. But at the same time, it is getting very monotonous. I think is the word. It feels like Groundhog's Day in a sense. If anybody's seen that movie, it feels like every day is running together, and I think that's sort of hard to deal with a little bit mentally. I feel it's not like making me feel bad or anything like that, but I do. That is bothering me. The fact that I can't remember. It's hard to remember what day it is.
Yes.
And every day just seems like the same. Seems like the same. So just trying to do something different and try to keep everything else. And what I do for my mental health, a lot of prayer, working out. For my mental and physical health are linked together. So working out helps a lot of my mental health. One thing I've done like physically, and I think I said this on a past podcast, is I started running. And before this quarantine, I hate running. I hated it. But now that I've been started to run, I actually do it almost every single day. And part of it's physical, but part of it is getting outside, enjoying the environment, and giving me time to like think and zone in, and stuff like that. So that's been really helping me with everything. But besides even doing the running, I've learned some like different like workouts, stuff like that I haven't done previously. That has also really helped me be better physically. But like yourself, I'm also eating those snacks occasionally, and everything like that. You know what I mean? I can't. I can't lie. You know what I mean? I guess you know what I had yesterday.
What you eat
yesterday? It wasn't
yesterday?
the first time I had it, but I had at the corner store you get those donut sticks.
Donut sticks.
On the individual package.
Oh yeah, so you went all the way. You took it all the way back.
Fire, best donuts out ever. But like I've done a lot. I've deep fried Oreos since I've been here. But I've also overly worked out, but not to counteract that, but more just because I have just because I have the time. So.
Facts. And Rob, for me, one thing just to touch on that too, one thing that I would say took a big toll on my mental health too was how I started my day. Because me personally, me starting my day Monday through Friday consists of me getting up around 5:30, 6 o'clock to get to the studio before 7 a.m. Right. So me personally not waking up at that time every day was like, okay, at first I was like, okay, I get to sleep in. Like it was exciting. But then after a while, my brain was like, get up. What are you doing? Like my body was just, because I was still laying down, it was like my brain and my body was not connecting. My brain was saying get up and my body was like lay down. You know what I mean? So that took a toll on me. And then when, I got up and I started my routine differently, like I would get up and I would be on my phone, or I would get up and I would do some YouTube, or I would get up and do just trash. I'm just going to be honest with you. Just get up and just put trash in my brain, because I'm now watching other people's IG lives, or I'm tuning in to see what other people are doing, versus when I would typically start my day, it would be make my tea, get out the house, get to the studio on time, set the sound up, sound check. You know what I mean? Like my brain had a schedule. So now it's like I'm obtaining IG before 9 a.m. Like my brain don't even know how to function at, you know what I'm saying? So it's like like things that I would never even process, it's happening. And I feel like that also took a toll on my mental, because illusions are real. So even though we're in this pandemic, everyone is still painting their lives to be something that it's really not, you know what I mean? Because we're all in the house. So with that being said, it's just like, when you start to feed into that because you see it every day, I definitely caught myself slipping on that one. I was like, yo, I got to put my phone down for the first hour. Like, this just cannot be. It just cannot be. And at one point, it wasn't even an option. Like, I wouldn't even have to pick my phone up because I was doing so many other things, So this is definitely something I would say is a situation that can take a toll on someone's mental. And besides just eating and working out, do you think, other exercises like writing, reading, like things like that? Talk to me.
That's the whole thing. That goes into what I talked about mental health. I talked about when I was talking about I said about meditating, praying. You know what I mean? But reading and writing are very important. You know what I mean? Poetry is one of the. They say everybody has to write poetry, but poetry is one of the biggest ways that people work on themselves mentally. You know me. I am a poet. I would say I was a poet, but I am a poet.
I'm about to say you do think. I'm about to say stop playing, Rob.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. So writing is a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe keeping a journal might help as well. And also might by keeping a journal, you might see some things. You might be able to read back the day before and see some things that maybe you want to change about yourself.
But Rob, one thing that I have learned, journaling is amazing. I would say I have definitely gotten to my journal as well as reading. I've been reading a lot of self-help books too. I ain't gonna hold you. I did want to go to like a little fairy tale, little fictional book, but I couldn't get there all the way. So then I had to switch back to the self-help books. But for me, I wanted to ask you this too. When throughout this pandemic, I honestly truly feel like, and I'm not trying to box our generation or anything like that, but I feel like alcohol has like taken over. Everyone is drinking. Everyone has a cup in their hand. Everyone has some type of glass of wine or something. And I feel like that also is a con to what everything, you know, is going on, because people are bored. And at one point, drinking was like a social thing. And now for the past 30 days, no one has been socializing, right? Because we should have been social distancing. So with that being said, how are you social drinking? And people were like, you know, making it seem like it's okay because they're doing it socially on these websites virtually, I guess. But I still don't think that's okay, because you're still sitting on your couch getting drunk. And I've seen this in so many IG lives. Like, talk to me. What do you think about this? Like, just alcohol and how people are abusing it throughout this time. Speaking of it, because today is 420, right?
Right. I mean, I think it's a numbing factor. You know, it helps. It's numbing. It helps take your mind off of a lot of people right now. In my opinion, even people in our generation are like really struggling. I think we spoke about that a couple of times before, but they're really struggling. Some people have lost their jobs and stuff like that. Even yourself, you know, you talked about thinking about how the
industry, how we gonna bounce back
will be afterwards. You know what I mean? So like, think about it. You're thinking about that right now. But if somebody might, let's say they're in the same situation as you, you know, they may be thinking about that, but what helps them stop thinking about that is the drinking. You know what I mean? So that may be their way to cope with those things. Now, I'm not saying it's right, because yes, there is alcohol abuse is real, but I think that people just need to figure out a better way to cope. You know what I'm saying?
So, but that's the thing, you know, and I think also because in the state of Pennsylvania, they actually closed the liquor stores because I truly believe that they didn't want that to happen. But you have to still understand there's beer distributors, there's wine, it's so many ways to get, you know, your hand on some type of alcohol. So I feel like that didn't necessarily help. I feel like if anything, that ramped it up, because now people are drinking like malt liquor. They're drinking like, what's those things we used to drink back in college, Rob? What's those things called?
Like
Four Locos, those Four Locos things. Like, people are just buying, you know, anything because that's what's open at the Poppy store. That's what's open at the corner store. So I feel like it's not even like a smart drink. And I feel like it's, if anything, it's hurting us more. And I do understand, you know, it could be a coping mechanism, but I feel like, because we're talking about mental health, do you feel like people will be able to bounce back from this once we do get started? Do you think they'll be able to put that down to, you know, keep it going? Because it's still like their job is not going to be there, but their job is not going to be there, but we'll be outside. Do you think that's still going to drive them to drink a little bit?
Well, let's think about this, right? I talked about, and I always talk about chasing dreams and stuff like that, right? And I talk about the thing, you know, doing little bitty things when we're in the house. You know, if you're intoxicated, then you're not going to be in the best position to do those things. So maybe refocusing, you know, what you're trying to do with the time that you're in the house, right? Is there a mission when you wake up? Do you have goals, right, when you wake up? If you can recalibrate that, it might make it easier for people to not rush or leverage alcohol throughout their day, because you're not going to be able to do those things. I talked about photography. Like, I wouldn't be able to focus on getting better with photography and learning new things if I was intoxicated. But that's because I have a goal, a mission, right? So maybe, you know, if you're listening to this and you're drinking alcohol, maybe you realize you're drinking alcohol more than you normally are. You know, try to swap out some of that time that you're drinking alcohol with a mission, right? That mission to get better, right? I talked about working on resumes. We talked about reading, searching for new jobs. Even if you have a job, right? Maybe you want to search for a better job.
Facts.
You know, focus on your physical health, right? Yoga, working out, things like that. Learn a new language, right? So if you're listening to this and you're having an issue, you know, try to my suggestion would be try to think of more goals that you can try to do every day. The journaling. So if you can swap those things out for the journaling, that would help. And in reference to bouncing back after this quarantine is over, I think, you know, unfortunately, the bounce back for people that are drinking more now will be no different than the bounce back of the entire society. You know, whenever outside opens back up, people still won't be going outside for
Facts.
like another couple months, right? Right. So whenever we're not going to go back to
Hopefully,
normal.
Rob. Hopefully, people won't just run
Well,
back
well,
outside.
because I don't think I don't think people will because people still realize that people are still getting sick.
That's
Like,
real.
I don't think I was watching this morning. I was watching I was doing a workout on TV. I was for like my fasted cardio, and the trainer he did a break. He was like, okay, water break, and he had some people he was training, and he saw this water bottle. And he was like, I don't know what this water bottle says, but I need to sip, and it made me think like. He wouldn't be doing that right now if this videos were because it was an older video. Like, he would not be doing that right now if he realized how he gets sick. And that's exactly what's going to happen once outside opens back up again, right? So I think that everybody's going to. I think the struggle of bouncing back would be for everything. Even the people. But I also think that maybe potentially when everything slowly goes back to normal, we're going to have to ramp up the services that we provide to people for mental health, for alcohol abuse, and things of that nature. Because people, it's going to be PTSD.
A lot of it.
You know what I mean?
And
it's going to be PTSD.
And it's going to affect our students a lot. It's going to affect our youth a lot. Just as far as just taking it serious, what to take serious, like even like out and about, right? When I'm out riding my bike, it's like some kids have their mask on, but they're not wearing it properly. They don't have gloves on, or they're playing with the gloves in the mask. So it's like it defeats the whole purpose. You know what I mean? So it's just, I feel like it's going to affect our students because they're going to, at one point being able to walk around freely expressing themselves, and now they're going to be hidden behind these masks and these gloves, and they're not going to know how, or we're not going to know how to explain it to them properly for them to fully understand. You know what I mean? So I just feel like we definitely have to do our just due when it comes down to educating our students and our youth about this whole COVID-19 situation, as well as when the country opens back up, and international, when we open back up internationally as well, we have to explain these things, because even I know 11-year-olds who got passports and more stamps than me, so we just we got to make sure that we're educating them the right way. And I want to just make sure that we do announce that in the state of Pennsylvania, the DUIs have dropped 71% since bars and wine and spirits have shut down early March. So it has dropped 71%. So nobody's out driving drunk. That's a good thing. So I just wanted to drop that statistic so we don't make it seem like Philly just out here doing anything. But Rob, before we wrap up, I want to say thank you always for coming through, motivating. You definitely motivated me thinking about my mental health this morning. That was definitely something I wasn't thinking about. So I'm now definitely on the radar with that one, just trying to figure out how I can start my day differently instead of off with the trash and social norms and things like that. But I appreciate you. Go ahead and always shout yourself out. Tell the people how they can find you. Stay locked.
Wait, I got a random tangent, just a random.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Just real quick. When you go outside, you ride your bike. First of all, are people, and I say this because I don't know, or maybe I do something different, but for yourself, do you wear a mask outside? Because I'm not sure. I thought people honestly were really wearing masks when they're in closed areas.
Rob, people are hilarious. Let me just say that. All people are hilarious. Not just our people. All people are hilarious, first and foremost. I'm definitely going to point that out. But no, me personally, when I'm riding my bike, I do not wear my mask. I'm just riding my bike. But if I
when I run, I don't wear a mask. Okay.
Yeah. So, but when I'm in contact with people, so like let's say if I'm about to stop at the Poppy store or something, I have my mask on me and I will put it on. Right. Or if I'm about to ride my bike, let's say, because they have these trails, right? So if I'm riding on the street, I'm good. But if I'm going in like a Fairmont Park or something, I would just put the mask on because I know a lot of people are going to be in the park. Just for me to get cut through the park to get back onto Girard or something, I would just put it on just because I know people are going to be in the park. So I really do it, I play it by ear based on the number of people and the type of people that's going to be around. And then also with the whole glove situation, I don't really trip off the gloves unless I'm going into a store. But if I'm touching things that belong to me, I'm not about to waste my gloves.
Right. I was just curious. And for whoever's listening, we're not in the health field. So I just want to preface that. I don't want anybody to say So POC said do this.
Nah, thank you, Rob. Because that's not what I'm saying. This is just what I do. This is just what I do. Yes, yes.
I mean, I do the same thing. Like when I'm running outside, I'm not wearing a mask. But if I have to go to like a store, I'll wear a mask. And I actually, when I go to stores, even like the poppy store, I actually don't wear gloves. I just make sure I wash my hands as soon as I get back. And that's when I start focusing on, don't touch my face and stuff like that. When I wash my hands real quick. But I was just curious because you brought up like people wearing masks and kids wearing masks incorrectly. So I was trying to figure out where you were going. I was glad where you were going in your opinion.
No, but I mean, like, kids are wearing it incorrectly because they're playing with each other. You know what I mean? Like when me and you are running, like if I'm riding my bike, this is a solo dolo mission. If you're out there running, it's solo dolo. We're talking about 4 to 5 kids who are cousins and friends of the family in this one little neighborhood, out front of the porch. Of course, they're not like at a playground or anything. They're on the porch, but it's like 5 of them. And they have on their masks, they have on their gloves, but they're running around touching everything, So it defeats the purpose if you're going to run around, touch everything, and then go back and touch her or touch him. It's like, why do they have these things on? So that's what I mean about inappropriately. Like if I'm running around, I have my gloves on, I come up to you and I dap you up. You're like, what was the point of that? It was no point of trying to be safe. It was just no point. So that's what I mean. But shout yourself out though, Rob.
Yes, it's me, Dr. Rob Lay. You can catch me on Facebook. You can look up Rob Lay. Twitter, The Real Rob Lay. That's the real, not the real Rob Lay. Instagram, I'll be on there a lot, frequently actually. The most at the real Rob Lay. QC just mentioned I did this little singing thing recently. Check that out. I can't sing, but I'm creative, so check it out.
Definitely is a creative person. I would definitely agree with you on that. Super creative, bro.
If you want to check out my photography, you can check me out at the Royal Rob Lay Photography. Interesting, recently I've been doing some in-home or in the area type challenges and stuff like that. So you'll see some interesting things like I just did. I did some things where like I did made like things levitate with like photography, so it looks like it's levitation. I did one I just took some pictures of the park where I basically tried to tell a story about through my images about outside just being closed. So check that out, the Real Rob Lay Photography, and you could keep that in mind. So when outside opens back up, if you need a photographer, check me out. And you can go through all of my Instagram page to get to my website. You can read about my book. You can read about my photography. You can watch motivational messages, so on and so forth. But I appreciate it, POC, as always.
Always, Rob. I appreciate you for always coming through, supporting and holding it down, leaving us with a message and always something to think about going forward. So I truly appreciate you. Stay blessed and definitely, sending my prayers to you and your families always.
All right, peace.
Peace. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl, POC, host of Revive Radio. Each and every Monday throughout this month of April, we'll be motivating you on Monday with your guy, Dr. Rob Lay. So make sure you guys turn your radios up. Spread the word, spread the message, man. You also can join in on this conversation. Don't forget everything we do. It's a football effect. It's for you and about you. 202-750-9112. Once again, that number is 202-750-9112. We about to get back into this Revive quality mix. Don't forget artists. If you are listening right now, sing your music our way. We want quality sounding projects, whether it's old music, new music, it don't matter. Album, EP, drop it on us right now. revive.poc@gmail.com. Once again, that's revive.poc@gmail.com. Up next, we got my guy, Tauhid Chappell, coming through talking about the culture of cannabis, just medicinal cannabis, and how COVID-19 is affecting us right now when it comes to the essential workers who are in these dispensaries, man. You already know what time it is. It's your girl, POC. Turn your radios up. Spread the word. Spread the message, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget, click that donate button at the bottom of the homepage to keep Revive alive for the next 365 days. Man, donate, donate, donate.
Yeah, what up, Tri-State? It's your boy DJ Reese. We live on Revive Radio. I spend every Tuesday and Friday, 8 a.m. Make sure you got your radios locked to your boy. This is how we doing it. New vibes, Philly, sounding all good, sounding crystal clear. That quality, Revive Radio, you know what it is.
Them boy wanna talk like them wanna guan come. But what you gonna do if you got one gun? I sing a song for the hero unsung, with faces on the mirror of the revolution. No looking back, cause in back is what's done. Tell the preacher, God got more than one son. Tell the law, my Uzi weighs a ton. I walk like a warrior, from them I won't run. On the streets they try to beat us like a drum. In Cincinnati, another brother hung. Again he won't see the sun, with his family stung. They want us to hold justice, but you handed me none. The same, they did to Kobe and Michael Jackson. Make them the main attraction, turn around and attack them. Black Jim in the rough, you're rugged enough. Use your mind and nine power, get the government touch. Them boy chat on how him pop gun. I got the black strap to make the cops run. They watching me, I'm watching them. Them dick boys got a lot of cock in them. My people on the block got a lot of pock in them. And when we roll together, we be rocking them to sleep. No time for that, cause it's things to be done. Stay true to what I do so the youth dream come. From project building, seen a fiend being hung. With that happening, why they messing with Saddam? Burn a bush, cause for peace he no push no button. Killing over oil and grease, no weapons of destruction. How can we follow leader when this a corrupt one? The government's a G unit and they might buck young. Black people in the urban area one. I hold up a peace sign, but I carry a gun.
570,000 people die every year in the U.S. due to drug abuse.
Roughly 1 in 11 suffers from addiction to drug abuse.
Parents who use illegal drugs and tobacco put 50% of the nation's children at increased risk of substance abuse and of physical or mental illness.
We can end this one step at a time.
Call your local drug care center for help on the road to recovery.
You are not alone. Together we can end drug abuse, starting with you.
Make sure to visit us at our website at drjhsdrugabuse.weebly.com.
Also, don't forget to check out our Instagram page located on our website. And remember, if you use, you lose.
My Ditka is mad as a bear.
Yeah, I'm mad, all right.
He used a bargain trash bag.
Some bargain.
Mike, you should have used Glad Quick Tie bags. Glad Quick Tie are the only bags with 3-ply strength. They won't break like this bargain bag.
These Glad bags are tough.
None tougher. Go deep. Don't get mad.
Nice arm.
Get Glad. Glad kitchen and outdoor bags.
What's up? This your girl Lakeisha Sutton, aka fan favorite, tuned in with the one and only POC. We all we got, we all we need. You are now listening to Revive Radio. Let's go!
Tune in now to Revive Radio. Tune in now to Revive Radio. Tune in now to Revive Radio.
Everybody in the club get tipped. Everybody in the club get tipped. 2, then comes the 3 to the 4 to the 5. Now I'm looking at shorty right in the eyes. Couple seconds pass, now I'm looking at her thighs. Now she telling me how much she hate the guy.
Snoop Dogg.
Tune in now to Revive Radio. Tune in now to Revive Radio.
You know who's back up in this?
Top dog, bottom up, burn it. DPGC, man, turn it. CPT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang this in the club, baby, you got to get up. Yeah, they giving it up. Low life, yo life, boy, we living it up. Taking chances while we dancing in the party for sure. Slip my when she got in the back door. Looking at me strange, but you know I don't care. Step up in this, just a swinging my. Talking, walk if you're down with the sick. Take a with some and take this on this jet out of town. Put it down for the father of rap. And if your get cracked, jet your trap. Come back, get back. That's the part of success. If you believe in the X, you be relieving your stress.
It's the D.R.E. Dr. Dre. know I'm mobbing with the D-O-double-G. Straight off the CBT. King up the beach, you ride to him in your fleet. Hood, the Ville, rolling on dubs. How you feel? Whoop-de-whoop, what? Dre and Snoop down in the lag. With Doc in the back, sipping on in the dipping through hoods. Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood, South Central out to the west side. This California love, this California got a gang of pub. I'm on one, I might bell up in the Century Club with my jeans on and my team strong. Get my drink on and my smoke on, then go home with something to poke on.
If you looking for me, I'll be on the block with my thing cocked, possibly sitting on the track now.
On and out, Riot Radio. On and out, Riot Radio.
Everybody know the game don't stop, trying to make it to the top for your get now. If you a rider, oh yes, a soul survivor.
Tonight I can't sleep, we living in hell. First they give us the work, then they throw us in jail. Road trip, yeah, I'm trafficking the white. Please, Lord, don't let me go to jail tonight. Who me? I'm a soul survivor. Ask about him in the street, the boy G's a ride. 100 grand on my wrist, yeah, life sucks. The club dog, I'd rather count $1 million bucks.
If you looking for me, I'll be on the block with my thing cocked, possibly sitting on the track now. Cause I'm a rider, oh yes, a soul survivor. Everybody know the game don't stop, trying to make it to the top for your get now. If you a rider, oh yes, a soul survivor.
Another day, another dollar. Same block, same park, same green. I guess we got the same dreams. Oh, here's at the same nightmares. We let the doves do it for us. We don't cry tears. Real don't budge when mailman got his top birds at the judge. I'm knee deep in the game, so when it's time to re-up, I'm knee deep in the real talk. Look, I'm telling you, man. If I get jammed up, don't mention my name. Forgive me, Lord. I know I ain't living right. Gotta feed the block, start appetite. And this is every day, it never gets old. When I was a juvenile, stuck to the G code. This ain't a rap song, this is my life. If the hood was a battlefield, then I earned stripes.
If you looking for me, I'll be on the block with my thing cocked, possibly sitting on the track now. Cause I'm a rider, oh yes, a soul survivor.
DJ Intrepid. On and out, Riot Radio. On and out, Riot Radio.
Outside, it's like showbiz.
We stay fly, no lie, and you know this. Hips and thighs, oh my, stay focused.
Paper money, love it, cause fly rides, choose on sky high, twist fly with the stars, 24 flights, 80 grand long. Ballin'! So we leave with a pop, vertical Jones, me with the top, I'm sitting clean with the pop. I hopped out, second G's in my rockets, but I spent about 8 grand, mommy on stage, doing the rain dance. I think she liked me, bitch, let it hit the floor, made it pop. Got my pedal to the floor, screaming up the cup. We fly high, no lie, you know this. Foreign rides, outside, it's like showbiz.
We stay fly, no lie, and you know this. Hips and thighs, oh my, stay focused.
On and out, Riot Radio. On and out, Riot Radio. On and out, Riot.
Every day, every night, all the time. Every day I need 1.5 ounces. SP, the only flow that you know, with a bounce and a half. Listen kid, I need a mountain of cash, so I can roll up, hop in the whip and like bounce to the ab. I get high cause I'm in the hood, the nugs is around. To take a blunt, just to ease the pain and humble me now. And I'd rather roll something up, cause if I'm sober dog, I just might flip, grab my snub and hold something up. I get high as a kite, I'm in the zone all alone, motherfucker, in case I'm dying that night. So I roll them up, back to back, fat as I could. You got beef for Styles P, I come to splatter the hood. Every day, every night, all the time. Every day, every night, all the time. yo, I smoke like a chimney. Matter of fact, I smoke like a gun when the delicacy is enemy. I smoke like Bob Marley did. Add to that I smoke like the hippies did back in the 70s. Spit with the finishing touch. Get this, that I'ma finish you before I finish the Dutch. I get high like the birds of the plains. I get high when bullets hit faces after words exchange.
Vibe Radio. Tuning out for Vibe Radio. Tuning out for Vibe Radio.
Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a startup business? Are you a local business? Are you an artist? Are you looking for someone to distribute your content? Revive Radio is the place to be. Come advertise with us at Revive Radio right now. You can find that advertising page at reviveisalive.com. Once again, reviveisalive.com. Advertise with Revive. We are reaching thousands of millennials all across the world. And once again, reviveisalive.com is where you can find that information.
You are listening to Time for an Awakening Media, part of the Black Talk Radio Network. For podcasts or live programming, hit them up at timeforanawakening.com.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Up All Night Shit, man. We live at Revive Radio, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Keep that shit locked, heavy.
You are listening to Revive Radio. The views and opinions expressed on Revive Radio does not necessarily reflect ownership, management, and advertisers of Revive Radio.
Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. All I need is one mic. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. It's about that time. It's your girl POC. Hey! It's your girl POC. Hey! Proof of consciousness. Proof of consciousness. POC. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. All I need is it's about that time. Welcome to Revive. Yep to the yep. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl POC, host of Revive Radio, man. We are back live on Revive is Alive, Revive is Alive, reviveisalive.com. Turn your radios up, spread the word, spread the message, man. You already know each and every time we reviving your airways, we got a jam-packed show for you guys, man. Definitely go tell a friend to spread the word, spread the message, because Revive is Alive 365, 24/7 a.m. to the p.m., man. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Rob Lay, for coming through, man. Throughout this whole month of April, each and every Monday through Wednesday, we'll be reviving your airways from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Once again, every Monday and every Wednesday throughout the month of April, we'll be reviving your airways from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And every Monday, you can hear your guy, Rob, coming through with some Monday motivation so we can start our week off the right way here on Revive Radio. But you already know I got some trending topics and current events I want to go over with you guys as well. Especially throughout this whole pandemic, it's a lot of craziness going on. And speaking of craziness, check this out. More than 1,300 Ohio inmates have tested positive for the coronavirus. As the coronavirus continues to spread, the U.S. seems to, like, when it comes down to the prison system, cannot get control over the spread. More than 1,013 inmates have tested positive for the coronavirus in 3 Ohio facilities. Mass testing is ongoing at all 3 facilities housing prisoners. Prisoners officials are isolating inmates to lower the cost of the pandemic, the spread of the pandemic, So in Ohio at this time, we currently have 1,300 prisoners
who have been tested positive for the coronavirus. And check this out. Right next door in Michigan, an inmate passed away due to the coronavirus just weeks prior to his scheduled release. So this is something that is, affecting families as well as prisoners inside of these facilities. So it's not just, affecting the prisoners, it's also affecting the families, because this man was actually supposed to be released 1 week prior to his death due to the coronavirus. Check this out. So definitely sending my prayers and thoughts to the family of William Garrison, who lost his life due to the coronavirus just weeks before his scheduled release. According to CNN, Garrison spent 44 years in prison for first-degree murder and was scheduled to be released on parole just a week prior to him being positive for coronavirus, and then, internally just passing away from the situation altogether. So with that being said, it's like, what are we going to do to stop this spread of the coronavirus inside these facilities where people who are locked up and their freedom is not, not a thing. Freedom is not a thing for them. Their freedom has been taken away. So I definitely want to know your thoughts on this. 202-750-9112. If you have a loved one in the, in one of these facilities, and you have talked to them, you have spoken to them, and they've told you, what's really going on, hit me up, because I want to know what's going on in these facilities. I want to know, are they truly being taken care of? Are they being taken advantage of? Are they getting the treatment that they needed? Are testing, is testing really going on in these facilities? Is it testing just for people who don't have who are showing symptoms, or are they testing everyone? Because as we know, this asymptomatic sign of coronavirus is not necessarily something that you will see, because you will still, have certain symptoms as far as a headache and a fever, but as far as just the coughing and the sneezing, that may not occur. So it's a lot that goes into just testing certain people. And I think that's why this virus continues to spread in this country, because we're not doing what we are supposed to do as far as staying home, social distancing, and then also making sure that everyone is getting tested. So I definitely wanted to drop those stories on you, because last week when we were talking to Safety Man and we were talking to Ike Raw, the man of the people, this is one of the subjects that came out. And then over the weekend to find out that 1,300 people in the state of in Ohio have been, tested positive for coronavirus is definitely an eye opener. But moving along, I definitely wanted to just shout that out. But moving along, I also want to shout out 2 Chainz as well. 2 Chainz has donated meals to the essential workers down there in Atlanta at the Southern Regional Medical Center in Atlanta, Georgia. He sponsored the meals by his restaurant. Shout out to all the Black-owned restaurants that are staying alive at this time. Escobar Restaurant and Trap Lounge. So he sponsored that, and he donated it with his own money and his own meals, courtesy of his own business. So definitely stay locked to the timeline. You already know what it is. It's your girl, POC. I just wanted to go over some quick trending topics and current events. Stay locked. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. We got our special guest, Tauhid Chappell, coming through talking 420 today, man. You already know what time it is. It's your girl, POC. And speaking of 420, let me drop this last one. My guy, Snoop Dogg, just dropped a new wine line that will be dropping this summer. It's actually entitled Snoop Cali Red. It's the line that will be available in stores this summer, and he actually partnered with 19 Crimes, which is the first Australian winery that will be coming to the state of California this summer. So I'm excited about that. I'm definitely going to try my guys' wine out to see how that tastes. Might try it out with his strain of weed too at the same time. Medicinal cannabis. Let me make sure I say it the right way. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Get back in this mix. You already know. Sing your music our way. Let's go. Yep. You know what time it is, man. It's me, your girl, POC, host of Revive Radio. I need you all out there to do one thing for me right now. Spread the word, spread the message that Revive is alive. Once again, Revive is alive. And I need you guys to go check out our website at reviveisalive.com. Once again, reviveisalive.com. And follow us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Revive_POC.
This is Joanna Jane, the economic change agent. We're buying the block. We're educating our families and our kids with financial literacy, and we're doing it with purpose and with faith. But right now, you're tuning in to Revive Radio Show.
You are listening to Time for an Awakening Media, part of the Black Talk Radio Network. For podcasts or live programming, hit them up at timeforanawakening.com.
I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa. should I push up on it? Temperature rising, okay, let's go to the next level. Dance floor jam packed, hot as a tea kettle. I break it down for you now, baby, it's simple. If you be an info, I'll be an info. In the hotel or in the back of the rental, on the beach or in the park, it's whatever you into. Got the magic stick, I'm the love doctor. How your friends teasing you about how I sprung, I got you. Wanna show me you can work it, baby? No problem, get on top, then get to bounce around like a low rider. I'm a seasoned vet when it comes to this ish. After you work up a sweat, you can play with the stick. I'm trying to explain, baby, the best way I can. I'm melting in your mouth, girl, not in your hand. Take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
I'll take you to the candy shop. One more taste of what I got. I have to spend all you got. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
Girl, what we do, and where we do, the things we do, are just between me and you.
Tuning out to Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio.
This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love. This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love.
Fresh like, Impala, chrome hydraulics, 808 drums, you don't want none. Better run, when beef is on, I pop that drum. Come get some, pistol grip, pump. If step on my white Air Ones, it's red rum, ready, here come Compton, Dre found me in the slums, selling that skunk, one hand on my gun. I was selling rocks and Master P was saying, buck past the blunt. It's G and the girls just wanna have fun. Coke and rum, got on the tongue. I'm banging with my hand up a dress like, I make it come, purple haze in my lungs. Whole gang in the front, case a wanna stun.
I put Lamborghini doors on that Escalade. Low pro solo, look like I'm riding on blades. In 1 year, man, it's so great. I have a straight in the telly going both ways.
Tuning out to Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio.
Cadillac, no perms you can't see. Then I'm a B.I.M.B. I don't know what you heard about me. But a can't get a dollar out of me. No Cadillac, no perms you can't see. Then I'm a B.I.M.B. Now shorty, she in the club, she dancing for dollars. She got a thing for that Gucci, that Fendi, that Prada, that BCBG, Burberry, Dolce & Gabbana. She feed them fools fantasies, they pay her cause they want her. I spit a little G, man, and my gang got her. An hour later, had her something to Ramada. Them trick in the ear saying they think about her. I got the by the bar trying to get a drink about her. She like my style, she like my smile, she like the way I talk. She from the country, then she like me cause I'm from New York. I ain't that trying to holler cause I want some. I'm that trying to holler cause I want some bread. I could care less how she perform when she in the bed. Did that track, catch a date and come and pay the kid. Look baby, this is simple, you can't see. You with me, you with a P.I.M.B. I don't know what you heard about me. Put up, can't get a dollar out of me.
Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio. Tuning out to Provide Radio.
Looking to enhance your brand awareness? Well, guess what? Revive Radio has created a platform for you, yes you, to spread your brand and your brand's message. Revive Radio offers affordable advertising packages to artists, entrepreneurs, and small businesses. You can find more information about that at reviveisalive.com. And guess what? You can also book POC as your next brand ambassador. Hit us up right now at revive.poc@gmail.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Vincent Thompson, Vice President of Broadcast for the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. You can find out more about us by going to our website at phillyabj.org or .com. You're listening to Revive Radio. You are listening to Revive Radio. The views and opinions expressed on Revive Radio does not necessarily reflect ownership, management, and advertisers of Revive Radio.
Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. Welcome to Revive. It's about that time. All I need is one mic. You know what time it is. Open up your ears.
Open up your mind. It's about that time. It's your girl POC. Hey! It's your girl POC. Hey! Proof of consciousness. Proof of consciousness. POC. You know what time it is. Open up your ears. You know what time it is. Open up your mind. All I need is it's about that time. Yep. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl POC, host of Revive Radio. We are back live on Revive is Alive. Revive is Alive. Revive is Alive.com. Definitely tell a friend to spread the word, spread the message, man. Don't forget, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as the newsletter so you can stay locked with everything we got going on here, Revive Radio. Once they let us up and let us out, man, I'm trying to tell you, we're going to have a lot going on. You do not want to miss that. So go ahead and subscribe to that newsletter. The newsletter will be coming out the first week of every month. I promise you, we do not spam your inbox. We only send out one newsletter a month, so you know what we will be doing that entire month, man. So definitely stay locked and go ahead and subscribe. But we about to get into it with our next guest, man. I'm excited. Today is the day. I got my guy Tauhid Chappell on the line. Yo, Tauhid, you're live on Revive. How you feeling this morning?
Happy 420.
Yes. Today is the day, my guy. This is a day a lot of people have been waiting for. Say, nah. How are you feeling today, though?
You know, given everything that we're going through right now, I am just grateful and counting my blessings every day that I get to enjoy myself and enjoy the space that I have. You know, we have to be thankful for what we got now. So if you're breathing, if you're with family, if you have somebody, if you're just staying around, you know, just appreciate the little things, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Facts. That's big facts. And the fact that you're staying positive means a lot because you had a lot that was supposed to be happening, you know, just in the month of April alone. So the fact that you're able to keep a positive mindset through all of this is good. So how have you been dealing with it? Have you been in the city of Philadelphia, or did you travel at all?
Oh no, I have put my butt in Park for the last month or so.
All right.
I have not traveled anywhere. I've been in my apartment with my partner since mid-March, so we have not gone anywhere. We have not traveled. You had mentioned that, yes, this month was supposed to be a big month. I think a lot of us were planning on doing a lot of cool stuff. It was supposed to be 420 month. You know, we were supposed to be celebrating cannabis every single day. It didn't go that way, but, you know, we made it to 420, so I'm just happy to be here, you know.
No doubt. And I want to just ask you, as far as just, you know, the city of Philadelphia and, you know, being a journalist here in the city of Philadelphia, what's your thoughts? You know, tell us a little bit insight on your side of the view.
You know, Philly right now, just if we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, Philly right now is still going through a lot, right? You know, there still needs to be a lot more testing that needs to be done. There still needs to be more data on who's being affected. We know that there are certain zip codes in certain communities, aka Black and brown communities, that are being hit really hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. We need people just to, you know, social distance, stay inside if you can, just take care of yourself. And, you know, make sure you have enough resources. Check in with your family, check in with your friends, and just be cool, you know. So Philly right now is just trying to stay on lockdown, and I'm hoping that everyone is adhering to the guidelines and all that. And, you know, I think it makes this a little bit particularly hard, especially on 420 when we're supposed to be gathering. You know, when we're supposed to be coming together and sharing places, sharing blunts, you know, passed around some cannabis and enjoying each other's time. There's going to be a whole lot of video calling and all that. I actually am about to do a lot of Zoom calls after this call just to, you know, check in with the homies and virtually celebrate today too. So, you know, Philly's been quiet, but I know a lot of people are being creative and figuring out a way to still celebrate today.
Definitely has to. And speaking of today, right, when April 20th comes out, we always just put this myth behind it, like 420, right? Like it's a national holiday and we all want to celebrate. What is 420 and how did it get started? Do you have any idea?
So there's theories abound, right? There are theories, but there is one specific story that I have seen, you know, both in my circles and also in mainstream commercial media share that the history apparently started in California around 1971 with high school kids meeting after school around 420 to smoke some blunts or smoke some joints and just enjoy each other's presence. That's kind of like the overarching theory, is that it started in high school in 1971 in California. Apparently, I was looking and doing some research too, because you know, I was researching ahead of this call, Apparently one of the kids, his name is Dave Reddick, he actually did an interview with Time Magazine in 2017.
Wow.
And he said, I quote, we got tired of the Friday night football scene with all the jacks. We were the guys sitting under the stand smoking a doobie, wondering what we were doing there. Sounds about right, being a high schooler in 1971. So, I can see why people would want to escape the high school scene and just enjoy each other's friends and just pass the blunt around. So that's kind of like the prevailing theory, is that, these high schoolers came out and just did their own things. They called themselves the Waldos because apparently they met next to a wall after school, and then, they just smoked some weed.
And the crazy part is, Tahi, for the longest time, I just knew it was like a whole Bart Molly tribute. I just knew it had something to do, along the lines of like the universe and the numbers and the stars. Like for me, I just took it too deep. Maybe it was the sativa. I don't know. But I just took it a little too deep because I was like, what does this 420 really mean? But it's just something that started, with a bunch of kids in high school pretty much.
Yeah, around and from what I was reading too, 420 was around the time where all these like school activities were finished, or like the extracurricular activities and after school programs were wrapping up.
Oh, that time.
So that's when they decided to leave campus, and they're like, all right, it's 420. You know what that means. So they just sneak out. And
that's kind of clever.
That's the theory. Now that's a theory. Some of the people were interviewed about this too, but there's other theories around. Apparently 420 was like some sort of like police code for people who were smoking cannabis in California. That's how they called in apparently. But, again, multiple theories around. But, if you find a story that resonates with you, I say take it,
Do you ever think that 420 will be as big as or even bigger than St. Patrick's Day?
I think there are a lot more people who smoke weed than celebrate St. Patty's Day.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
Say yes.
Yeah, because like St. Patrick's Day is like a thing. Like in America, it's a thing. People are dressed all up in green. They're going to go out. Bars are going to be popping, right? But when it's 420, it's like, how are we going to take over? Especially now that, cannabis is becoming legal on the recreational side as well as the medicinal side. So more people are opening up shops, especially on the West Coast. If we were open, yes, as far as the country, we were open, you'll be able to go to shops and different things like that to congregate amongst, other people who indulge. So I definitely seeing this holiday, taking over. I don't see the actual government recognizing it to be a holiday like they do St. Patrick's Day, but I definitely see it taking over as far as just people and the money that goes into it, because people always talk about, St. Patrick's Day, the money that is made on that day. So I definitely see an increase of, money coming, fluctuating on this day.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if one day if enough states go rec and there's a relaxation of federal law, I would not be surprised if some lawmaker makes a resolution to adopt 420 as a national holiday or celebration. I would not be surprised. Hopefully we can live to see that day. I hope I can see that.
Then we need a first class ticket to that state. Whatever state that is, we need a first class ticket to that state because they're going to get my vote for real. And I wanted to ask you too, because we jumped in the conversation, talking about the whole COVID-19 situation. And here in the state of Pennsylvania, cannabis, as far as the medicinal side, is now legal. So considering to be essential, the dispensaries are still open. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Can you believe that, in 2020, can you just even imagine that at some point we would actually read headlines, hear on the radio, hear from friends that people are saying that medical marijuana is essential, that these businesses, that medical marijuana is legal and that it's essential, that it must continue to operate. This is a huge shock.
That is amazing, yo.
It's a good shot. It's a huge win
as
for
a
people who've been
patient
pushing in this movement.
Tauhid, as a patient, I was excited.
Yeah. This is, and again, this goes back to legitimizing the fact that cannabis has always been a medicine. Cannabis has always been a medicine in some varying degrees. And the fact that medical marijuana is a medical use here in the state of Pennsylvania, it is open like CVS is a pharmacy, and it's open too. This is medicine that people with illnesses who are hurting, who need this, they need to get access to that. And so I'm glad there's some recognition that further, underlines the legitimacy of this industry. That doesn't obviously, express and obviously address all the pains and aches that still are pervasive right now in the program. We still have to talk about how can people get to the dispensaries if they're worried about having, social distance? If they're trying to social distance, how do they get to the dispensary, right? How do we get more people to become caregivers so that they can go around, pick up cannabis, and then deliver it to patients themselves, right? Are there delivery options that dispensaries may be able to do to make things easier so that people don't have to technically leave their house?
Good.
And also the bud tenders on the front lines, shout out to the bud tenders who are still going to the dispensaries and still having to work the front lines as well. We have to give them some recognition for continuously working and going out there when it's a scary time to be operating.
Definitely.
I'm glad that medical marijuana dispensaries are open. I just hope that there's enough safety protocols so that everyone can, get what they need and still be safe in this time.
That's definitely a good point because we're shouting out, all the nurses and the doctors, and I'm not saying that, bud tenders have as much weight as them, but they definitely still have some type of, I would say interaction with patients to the point where they're talking, that medical talk as far as like, I'm feeling this type of way. What is your suggestion on, what I should take, which strain, or how should I take it in any kind of dosage? So I definitely agree with you on that. And I wanted to ask you that because it's kind of tricky on the West Coast, right? Because they have, in some here, like Massachusetts, we have, recreational weed, which is legal, right? And so when it comes down to recreational dispensaries, are they still considered essential, or is it just ones that are producing medical marijuana?
Well, you bring up a good point. This is by a state-by-state case. Massachusetts has definitely gone back and forth and has had this mass tension on whether or not recreational shops should be open. There's an argument that they should be open. That opens up more access to people. That gives more people the ability to go to their store and get it. And if they're not specifically designated as medical marijuana patients, yet they use cannabis for medical or therapeutic reasons, that they should have access to it, regardless of whether or not, they have a card. There's a lot of back and forth on whether or not that should be open. But then on the other hand, you have people who say, only patients, only designated patients, only people with actual direct illnesses who use cannabis for these specific reasons should have access. There's also those arguments there. I see both sides. For me personally, I think access should be access. Whether or not you have a card that designates you as a patient or not, if you need or you use cannabis for whatever reason, especially during this time where stress levels are all-time high, where there's other hardships in terms of access to other medications and stuff, if you need to use this, by all means, you should have the ability to go and at least either pick it up or get it delivered or whatever. So, it's a state-by-state cases. Thankfully in Pennsylvania, or, the way you see it, Pennsylvania is only medical, so it's only going to be medical dispensaries that are open. But it's now the states that have that quasi-medical and adult use both at the same time. They're having a lot of difficulties on trying to label that. Because then, medical marijuana dispensaries are deemed essential, but then the recreational shops are like, we are essential too. We're selling, theoretically, we're selling the same product.
Yes.
So why can't we also be open as well? So there's a lot of back and forth between that. And it's tough to see that because at the end of the day, the longer these discussions go on what's deemed essential or not, the more that patients and or consumers are hurting because there's a confusion around that,
Definitely understand, and that's why I wanted to ask you that because even on the money side, the financial side, sometimes it's actually cheaper, not sometimes, more likely it'll be cheaper to go to a recreational shop than an actual medicinal shop, and especially during these times where people are not working and they are losing their jobs and they don't have, the medical insurance and things like that because they're not working. You would want to go to a cheaper route or a way where you can get more bang for your buck. So when it comes to that medicinal side, it's not always worth it as far as the money, and that's what I wanted to ask you too as far as prices. Is it because people were talking about like water, for example? Water is an essential, and water, you've seen that water hiked up soon as the whole pandemic. It went from $2.99 a case to now $6.99 a case. Is that the same?
Oh my gosh.
Is that something that can happen with the essential of medicinal cannabis as well?
Would I be surprised if that is happening? No, I would not be surprised if the prices are going up just because of the increased, demand and the lack of supply. However, specifically in Pennsylvania, there has always been a very hard limit in terms of supply. The demand has always been there. Prices, as far as I know, have been steady from what I've known. Thankfully, I saw before I went into self-quarantine and all that. But the problem here in Pennsylvania specifically is that there's always been a very high demand and very little supply in terms of flower. This has been going on for almost a year now. There's almost been Like it's been kind of comical that there was like a drought in flour, and then there were some grow processors that couldn't get their flour going because of mold and mildew and pesticides, and that continues to this day. And so, as far as I know, I still think that there are some limitations on how much flour specifically patients can get. I don't know if the prices are fluctuating or not, but what I will say is that I know that the at least in Pennsylvania, the state attorney general has mentioned that if people start seeing like prices go up and that there's any sort of price gouging, that you should contact the state attorney's office to let them know that, hey, this product or this medicine that was normally this price is now just like inflated to this. They need to know that too, because I don't think it's fair personally, especially with patients who have to pay a lot of money for this. It's not fair to them to have to suddenly pay even more money for access to medicine. That's not right. That's not fair in my eyes. And so what I encourage, listeners who are either patients or who need access to medical cannabis and can get it, if you start seeing a rapid increase in pricing around cannabis, just make note of that and reach out to the state attorney general's office to kind of understand, is this allowable, especially for medical marijuana dispensaries? Can they get away with this? And make a note of that too, because we all have to be vocal about this and make sure that this is accessible to the people who need it most.
That's real, and I appreciate you dropping those gems, because I didn't even know that the attorney general actually made that statement. So I thank you for that. And I wanted to ask you a little bit. A further question about this situation as far as the financial side, right? Because when it comes down to cannabis, whether it's medicinal or recreational, it's not covered by insurance anywhere, to my knowledge. Like as far as the 50 states, is not covered, right? And with that being said, most people pay for it out of pocket. And now with this whole quarantine, COVID-19 pandemic situation, people are talking a recession, right? And in recession, a lot of industries get hit. A lot of industries get hit hard and not being able to bounce back. Like, for example, Wall Street got hit really bad, during this recession. Do you think that can be something that is going to be reflected on this side of the industry as far as just the growth of cannabis, because people are not going to be able to pay for it, just straight out of pocket anymore because they're not working or they're not employed?
Everyone's going to be hurting. I think it's safe to say at this point, the longer that the states and cities and all that are shut down, the more that workers have to stay at home or are getting sick and have to stay at home. Everyone's going to be hurting, and no one knows how long this is going to go. This is all uncharted territory, uncharted water for everybody in this business. And the most worrisome part here is that, cannabis businesses, dispensaries, grow processors and stuff, they can't get access to emergency funding. They can't get access to small business loans to keep them afloat too. There's this massive fight at the federal level to, when these stimulus bills are getting passed, this money is not going to cannabis companies because they're still deemed federally illegal. So this is really worrisome in my eyes to see, are these dispensaries going to remain afloat if there's no amount of financial restoration or financial aid coming from the federal or state level to keep them afloat? That's the worrisome part. Patients are going to struggle too. If they're getting laid off and they're not going to be able to afford it, they're not going to even be able to get to dispensaries. But there may not be dispensaries, the longer that this pandemic goes on, if there's not enough response and financial response from the federal and state government. So it's worrisome. I can't sugarcoat this. That the state of the industry, both on the patient side, the consumer side, and the industry side, it's going to be very turbulent. And, I can only hope that, at least at the federal level, that there is some sort of push to ensure that at least small business loans can be available so that these dispensaries can remain open, these grower processors can continue to create cannabis so that people can benefit from it. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough.
Definitely, because these licenses are very expensive. To stay afloat is very expensive. The grow houses are very expensive, from the power that they have to use, the water that they have to use, different things like that. So I definitely agree with you as far as just staying afloat and then needing those small business grants, not even loans, because when are you going to be able to pay it back? So I definitely agree with you, and I definitely see that this industry is going to get hit hard because the fact that it is consumer based out of pocket. You know, it's not something
Yep.
that is helped at all. This when you are going to treat yourself to any type of medicinal cannabis is something that you're doing by choice. So I definitely see this getting hit hard. What were we about to say though?
The one silver lining that I have to mention is that, it's just very interesting to me that there were certain things that, were either in the works or things that were said like, oh, we can't do this now. But suddenly the pandemic has really, catalyzed and accelerated a lot of conversations on, hey, we need to start doing this now. Hey, this is an emergency. We need to push this now. Even, apart from cannabis, for example, you had companies who, wouldn't let workers work from home. Now suddenly people are able to work from home because there is literally a necessity to work from home for social distancing purposes. So if there's any silver lining that I see is that the amount of chaos that has created from the pandemic is that the urgency now has been heightened, and now these conversations around, insurances, around loans and grants, they're now accelerating because of the necessity and how financially imperative it is to keep these businesses afloat. States are benefiting from these tax revenues, right? They have an interest to keep these businesses afloat, and the federal government gets, tax and revenue from the states as well. So there is an interest to keep these businesses afloat. The more businesses that go under, the worse everything is going to be. So there is actually an argument to make that these dispensaries, these grower processors, these retail shops and delivery services and ancillary businesses that touch or don't touch cannabis all need to remain afloat for the benefit of the entire community and ecosystem too. So I'm hoping that, a lot of these conversations that have been working, behind the scenes are now speeding up because of just the essential necessity of keeping these things alive.
Definitely. And I want to shift a little bit. Thank you so much, Tauhid, for all that information, truly. But when it comes down to, people staying at home, you mentioned that throughout your conversation. And I wanted to ask you, what is your advice to millennials and creatives staying at home and actually using cannabis? Because this could definitely be a time where you could abuse, cannabis because you're bored, you have nothing to do. So you just keep rolling up or smoking or eating or, burning it, however you consume it, you know what I mean? And I feel that this is definitely a time where that stigma of marijuana could definitely, turn not to the right side where we want it to go,
Yeah, ration, and moderation is key. There are ways to keep your weed and extend your weed. I have personally shifted from not even smoking. Ever since the pandemic really has gotten to the point where we are, I've actually stopped smoking and vaporizing too, because there's been conversations with doctors, just the fact that irritation of your lungs, that's not what you need right now. It may be an unpopular opinion that I'm saying this, but even on 420 is that to smoke and even vape is to irritate and cause inflammation in your lungs, right? And in a pandemic, especially when the coronavirus attacks your lungs, you really want to keep your lungs really healthy at this point. So it's very hard to advocate to tell people to smoke and all that stuff and enjoy. Look for ways to extend your cannabis, and that way that you're able to microdose and keep things going without having to overconsume. And look for ways to create things like tinctures, for example, or edibles, for example. There are multiple ways to make sure that the shelf life of your cannabis stays long, so that you don't necessarily have to continuously go out to get it. So you don't necessarily have to continue to spend to get it. That way that you can stretch your resources and be diligent about this. We're going to be in this pandemic for a very long time, I think. And so I think people who are finding themselves kind of struggling with that, they kind of have to understand that, the longer that they can stretch their weed out, the better they will be in the long run. Financially, they'll be better in the long run too, because you won't be spending as much. So I encourage people to look at, there's YouTube videos, there's articles, there's all these sorts of resources that can tell you how can you keep your weed, long? How can you make this last? Because we're going to be in this predicament for a very long time. And I think that the fact is that the faster you get to understanding that, the better you'll be, so that you can be a lot more methodical and smart with what you use with your cannabis.
Do you think it's ever going to be a drought?
Do I think there'll ever be a drought? No, I don't think there's ever
All
been
right,
a
cool.
drought.
I was about to say, all right, cool. I was about to say,
No,
do you
listen,
think it's
like,
going to
even
be a
before the
drought?
listen, even before the legalization of cannabis has always been here. All right, it's been here for generations upon generations. It's not going anywhere.
Okay.
The interesting conversations I've been having with some friends is that, you know, your local weed man or weed woman, what have you, now are seeing kind of like an uptick in business. You know, people don't have the access to go to the dispensary. They don't want to pay that much anymore because they may not have the income that they used to be.
Mhm.
Now you have people who, you know, used to grow out their own homes. Now they're actually seeing some more business because people need access faster, or they need it at a cheaper rate.
Facts.
And so I think there will never be a dip in supply, personally.
That's-
And I hope that doesn't have to happen anytime.
I was about to say, that's good because I know a lot of people was like, yo, I hope there's not a drought because where are we going to get it from? You know, everyone's in the house. So it's like, where could we possibly get it from? So the fact that you're saying that is no way, that's a good thing. That's a good sign. But I also want to ask you too, because, and this is about tobacco, because the state of Pennsylvania actually raised the age limit for tobacco from 18 to 21 as far as purchasing.
Mhm.
And then also they took out flavored tobacco and please correct me if I'm wrong, any flavored e-cigarettes, anything that's like electronically flavored as well.
That sounds about right from what I remember.
Yeah, they stripped those from the stores here in the state, not just Philly, but the entire state. So what's your thoughts on that? And I apologize. No, the flavor is in the state, but the age limit is the entire state. I apologize. So the flavor is in Philadelphia. So if you go into the county or you go into different parts of the state of Pennsylvania, you can purchase flavored tobacco, but you cannot purchase flavored tobacco in the city of Philadelphia. The mayor actually made that call. I apologize.
I mean, personally, as a cannabis user, I am on the side of, you know, I don't think tobacco is the best for anybody. I don't think tobacco does anyone any favors. It's very addicting. There's definitely hundreds of thousands of articles and research on just the negative health benefits that it brings to a person. I would never advocate for anyone to have to go and get tobacco or any e-flavored cigarettes, especially with the vaporizing, the vapor crisis and all that stuff too, with the e-cigs and all that stuff. There's not a lot of regulation around that too. You have to really be diligent about what you're putting in your body. And if you're deciding to smoke or vaporize, you really have to be smart about this during a pandemic. Like I mentioned, the coronavirus attacks your lungs. Do you really want to put yourself in any situation where your lungs are weaker, or your lungs are inflamed, or your lungs are hurting for that? And you're not going to be able to fight off if you somehow get infected. So again, I caution people, you know, if you're consuming, use other methods to consume, because right now any sort of effect on your respiratory system is just not a good look. We have to survive here, right? So let's be smart about it.
Definitely. And now I want to get a little bit into the strains, right? So there's the indica, there's the hybrid, and there's the sativa, right? And by us being in the house, what strains do you recommend? You know, even down to names, if you have any, you know, names on top of your head.
Okay, so I'm going to get a little wonky here. So for those who want a little science lesson here. So we hear about sativa, indica, hybrid, et cetera, right? Those are just broad overall marketing terms to help consumers and patients understand the types of cannabis that they may be getting. In all honesty, those are really kind of mislabeled. Sativa plants, from the physical look, they grow taller and they have thinner leaves. Indica plants, and I'm putting these in air quotes here, indica plants tend to be shorter, shrubbier, thicker, denser at the bottom, right? However, when we really get to talking about the different types of cannabis strains, we really have to talk about the chemical molecules that make them up. You know, we have cannabinoids. You have your THC and your CBD, right? But there's 101 different cannabinoids that have been recognized that do different things in your body. They have different functions, right? On top of that, you have terpenes, right? Those are chemical compounds. Those are the things that will influence the smell, the taste, the look of your cannabis, right? So when I'm talking about, you know, what types of strains people should be taking, I'm really talking about the molecular level of what you're actually putting in your body. This is a plant. This grows, you know. This has all sorts of chemical compounds that when they work together have some sort of effect. Not everyone's going to have the same sort of effect, but there's a general consensus that if certain strains have certain, you know, cannabinoids or terpenes that are expressed, you may be willing to be aware that certain things are going to happen to your body, or you may feel a certain way, right? So when I talk about strains, I'm actually going to say there's a couple of specific terpenes that people may want to look into. And if you're a medical marijuana patient specifically, this is exactly something that you should be looking at whenever you buy cannabis at your local dispensary, because many of the dispensaries, the grower processors have labels that show what cannabinoids are in your cannabis and what terpenes are in your cannabis as well. And again, these chemical compounds work together to give and initiate a certain reaction. So when I'm talking about strains, I've noticed for myself specifically, pinene and caryophyllene, these are terpenes. They kind of give that, pine, nutty smell of your cannabis, maybe the pine, nutty taste when you exhale, if you're vaporizing or smoking. Those terpenes tend to have an effect of keeping you a lot more focused, alert, and aware. So I actually kind of consume those types of strains when I want to get work done, when I want to be functional and want to get things done around the house, right? There's another terpene that's really expressed in a lot of cannabis strains called mycelium. That tends to have a more relaxed, sedated effect. So the higher the mycelium content in a cannabis flower, the more likely you may feel more relaxed and chill and all that stuff. That's what people usually typically think of when you say indica, right? There's another type of terpene that I actually really like too. It's called limonene. And that actually can be found on things like lemons and all that stuff too. All these terpenes can be found in different fruits and different herbs and roots and all that stuff too. So limonene is more of a terpene that makes you more awake, aware, euphoric, and happy. If I want to be happy, play some video games, watch some Netflix, play some guitar, if I want to feel a little bit creative, I might take a cannabis strain that has a lot more limonene expressed in the flower. So it really depends on the combination, and this is why I tell patients, always know what's in your weed. If you're going to a dispensary, if you're a medical marijuana patient, the advantage of being a patient in this state is that a lot of the labels give you the details of what you're actually consuming. So you can actually go in and understand, all right, I felt really sleepy when I smoked this specific strain. Okay, it had these types of terpenes and these types of cannabinoids in it. I'll be sure next time I go into my shop or I get the cannabis delivered to me or whatever, that I'll look for these types of terpenes and cannabinoids if I want to feel this certain type of way. There are specific strains that I know that really I love and I will get anytime I see it. There's this one called lemon grenades from Grassroots. If you're a patient and you're listening, if you go or you get get someone, a caregiver, to deliver, if you find lemon grenades from Grassroots that has a lot of limonene in it, and it tastes like lemon, hence the name. Very good, very good, uplifting, happy feel. I love it. Very consistent. There's another one called Butter Cookies from Prime Wellness. They're a grow processor. Overall, just feel more relaxed. Very, very, very just happy. I can get stuff done. I don't feel too energized, but I also don't feel too like in the couch feeling, right? And then there's one that I have not found here in Pennsylvania, and the only time I ever got it was actually in D.C. at a specific dispensary. It was called AK-47. I actually did not see what the cannabinoid or the terpene breakdown of it was, but listen, I have never felt so happy and so like giggly and smiling in my life after I smoked that strain. That strain, by all means, if I find that strain again, listen, I am on a hunt. When you find a strain that you like, listen, you hunt for it anytime.
That's real though. No, trust me, I agree with you, because my one that I keep looking for everywhere I go, I even went to Colorado looking for this one. It was like an Afghani. It was called Afghani, and I just want pure Afghani. It's always like Afghani mixed with something, and I have not been able to just find pure Afghani. So trust me, I understand. Definitely understand. And for me, during this time, I would say I'm leaning a little bit more to the indica side, because I'm a little bit more anxious as far as just like worrying, like what's next? What can I do? Why am I laying down? I should be doing something, that kind of mindset. So the indica is actually helping me to relax a lot more as far as just sitting down and being content with that.
Yeah, and don't sleep on CBD too. CBD does a really good job in helping people with anxiety.
I have not tried it at all. I have not tried CBD since this pandemic. Thank you for reminding me of that, yo.
Of course, and the benefit about CBD and cannabis, so there's a difference. Hemp and CBD are legal at the federal level, right? But cannabis, and specifically medical cannabis, that is, legal and at the state level, the CBD from that is actually a lot more potent than hemp CBD. You're actually getting a lot more terpenes and cannabinoid profiles from CBD found in the cannabis plant versus the hemp plant. And so if you're taking CBD and you're a medical marijuana patient, you'll actually have a better time and will have a better reaction to it than if you just take hemp CBD too. And that's also regulated and tested too. So, people always want to go for the THC and all that stuff. In all reality, sometimes that actually isn't the best for you. And during these times where there's a lot of stress and anxiety and uncertainty, incorporate some CBD in your routine, especially if you're a medical marijuana patient. Look for that too in some of your strains, and you might be surprised.
Definitely. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm definitely thinking about that now. I have not been thinking about CBD because I'm like, yo, I need this THC. I got to sit down. Like, I got to get my mind right. I got to do something with myself. I can't just be sitting in the house. So I definitely appreciate you always, Tahi, for coming through and supporting us. Thank you for getting your 420 started with us. I know you're going to be talking about this all day. This is definitely your lane. This is something that you feel passionate about, and I appreciate you for taking on this and being an advocate for this because not a lot of people wanted to do that. Before we wrap up, I definitely want to get into the conference. Is it still happening? Are we still holding down the dates in September?
Yes, the Can Atlantic Conference, for those who are tuning in, the Can Atlantic Conference was supposed to kick off 420 month this year. It was supposed to be the first Mid-Atlantic Cannabis Conference in the country run by the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, which I'm an executive board member of. The Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists is the first and the oldest association of black journalists. We are advocating for diversity in the media and to ensure that black stories and black issues are told appropriately in the media, right? So we were supposed to do it on April 5th and 6th, or sorry, I think 4th and 5th this year. That didn't happen clearly. Yes, September 26th and 27th is the tentative date. Obviously, we're going to be monitoring the ongoing pandemic. If we need to shift the conference online, we will find a way. But, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of love and labor, tears, blood, sweat, tears have been put into this. A lot of support, especially from you, from the Philly community, have really backed this up. So we are really pushing ahead to make sure that this comes alive in whatever way it comes out. It will come out. But September 26th and 27th are the new dates. We have our Instagram, the Can Atlantic Conference. We have our website. If you just Google in Can Atlantic Conference, look there for ongoing updates as well. We're a little bit dormant right now just to observe that, things are kind of like uneasy and we're going to wait a little bit. But come summer, we're going to start ramping things up and getting people hyped. I know a whole lot of cannabis conferences and events have been pushed to the fall. So, even though 420 month hasn't been celebrated in the way that we hope, September is looking really big right now, too. So I'm kind of excited by that, too.
I'm still excited about it. I'm still pushing it. I still, want to be a part of it in any kind of way. So I'm definitely excited that it's happening here in the city of Philadelphia, and it's going to be the first, and you're spearheading it. So it's going to be even better. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited and still ready for it. So I'm praying that September is, locked and loaded, and we're going to make it happen. And do you have anything else that you're doing today that you want to shout out that people should be paying attention to? Because I know you're going to be talking a lot more about this.
All I got to say is just really, shout out to all the healthcare workers. Shout out to everyone who has to report to work, who has to physically go to work and do your job. Your hearts and your minds are on me. I really just want to thank everyone who has to, go out and report. And if you don't have to, and you still have to work and all that, keep doing your thing. Give your time, especially today. Give your time some time to rest. Give your time to nap and recover. And the news is going to continue. Information is going to continue to come out. Just be smart, be safe, and be well.
Definitely agree. And do you want to shout yourself out to tell people they can find you and also PBJ?
Yeah. So for those who are interested in supporting black media, you can look up the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists on Google. You'll find us everywhere. If you want to follow me, I'm everywhere on the internet. Just look up TAUHID, last name CHAPPELL, Tauhid Chappell. You'll find me on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. I'm always looking for followers. And if you ever have any cannabis questions or anything like that, you can shout out to me.
Yes, man. I appreciate you always coming through and supporting us here at Revive Radio. You're definitely family. Cannot wait to see you when all this whole pandemic situation is over. Stay blessed, and I'm definitely
hopefully.
Yes, and I'm sending my prayers and everything to you and your family as well. Stay healthy.
Thank you. Be well.
Happy 420, man. You already know what time it is. It's your girl, POC. That wraps up another incredible interview here on Revive Radio. It wraps up another episode here on Revive Radio. We're reviving your airways each and every Monday, each and every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. throughout this month of April. Also, each and every Tuesday, each and every Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We back at it, reviving your airways. And you already know each and every Friday, Tri-State, we taking over 98.5 FM. Turn your radios up, switch your dials over. Make sure you guys support by donating to the Revive 365 campaign. All you got to do is click that donation button at the bottom of our homepage on reviveisalive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our newsletter so you can stay locked with everything we got going on here at Revive Radio. Also, don't forget to tell a friend, man. Revive is Alive 365, 24/7 a.m. to the p.m. We are now live streaming. So if you're at home, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing, your dishes, you're washing your clothes, you can now be listening to Revive all day long on reviveisalive.com. All you got to do is click that big play button on the website and you're just going to hear your girl POC. We got the quality mix in there. We got some DJ mixes in there. And if you're an artist, like I keep telling you, send your projects, send your music, send your quality our way right now. Revive.poc@gmail.com. I'm talking to poets as well. I'm always looking for new DJ playlists. I'm always looking for new videographers, photographers when we get back in this media scene. So definitely hit me up. I'm definitely looking for some creators to create some content. Let's go. It's your girl POC. Turn your radios up. We'll be back tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. You missed this morning's episode of Revive Radio? Well, guess what? You can catch that playback on YouTube. All you have to do is go to Revive_POC on YouTube to find more information. Looking to enhance your brand awareness? Well, guess what? Revive Radio has created a platform for you, yes you, to spread your brand and your brand's message. Revive Radio offers affordable advertising packages to artists, entrepreneurs, and small businesses. You can find more information about that at reviveisalive.com. And guess what? You can also book POC as your next brand ambassador. Hit us up right now at revive.poc@gmail.com.
Good time. Anytime you need a payment. Good time. Anytime you need a free. Good time. Anytime you're out from under. Not getting hassled, not getting hustled. Keeping your head above water. Making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times. Easy credit rip-offs. Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times. Hanging in a jar. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Good times.
Tuning out for Revive Radio. Tuning out for Revive Radio. Tuning out for Revive Radio. Tuning out for Revive Radio.
Come on, everybody, get on now. Cause you know we got to get it wrong. Mary J is in the spot tonight, and I'ma make it feel alright. Come on, baby, just party with me. Let loose and set your body free. Leave your situations at the door, so when you step inside, jump on the floor. Let's get it crunk up, let's get crunk up on. It's just so we got y'all open, now you're floating, so you got to dance with me.
Michigan's either two or they gon' die. Gotta keep the ratchet close by. Someone murdered, nobody seen, nobody heard it. Just another funeral service. We'll get at you. Come through shining, they at you. In broad daylight, kidnap you. Let's get clapped through. Police stay on us like tattoos. Liggins only grind cause we have to. Money is power. Sling powder. Things come through every hour. It's all about that dollar. And we no deal with cowards. Weak lambs get devoured by the lion in the concrete jungle. The strong standing rumble. The weak fold and crumble is the land of trouble. Brooklyn, home of the greatest rappers. Big comes first and the cream comes after. Now put your lighters up. Bed-Stuy, put your lighters up. New York, put your lighters up. DC, keep putting your lighters up. Philadelphia, put your lighters up. Detroit, put your lighters up. Chi-Town, keep putting them lighters up. No matter where you're from, put your lighters up.
Tuning out for Revive Radio. Tuning out for Revive Radio.
that's sticky. Wash my hands under a gold spout. When feeling icky, off and out. I ain't picky, start frontin' when the show's out. What you mean? When they roll out, come and give me big faces when they roll out. Is your window make me pull that out? I keep a close eye when the door out. Then I slide off in the Escalade. Me and Key getting solid like a me and E. Frosty, Roger the Rabbit and Bugsy. You understand me? Rap fist like me.
Let's slide, alright. We gon' get it on tonight. You smoke, I drink, me too. Well good, we gon' get hot tonight. Got drops, got trucks, alright. We gon' take a ride tonight. So let's slide, alright. And we gon' get it on tonight.
Now it's downtown clubbing, ladies' night. Seen Shorty, she was crazy, right? And I approached baby like, Mom, what's your age and type? She looked at me and said, you's a baby, right? I told her, I'm 18 and live a crazy life. Plus I tell you what the 80s like, and I know what the ladies like. Need a man that's polite, listens and takes advice. I could be all three, plus I can lay the pipe. Come with me, come stay the night. She looked at me laughing, like boy your game is tight. I'm laughing back like sure you're right. Get in the car, and don't touch nothing, sit in the car. Let's discuss something, either we loving or I see you tomorrow. Now we speeding up the west side, hand creeping up her left side. I'm ready to do it, ready to bone, ready for dome. 55th exit, damn, already we home. Now let's get it on.
Hey mom, let's slide, alright. We gon' get it on tonight. You smoke, I drink, me too. Well good, cause we gon' get hot tonight. Got drops, got trucks, alright. And we gon' take a ride tonight. So mom, let's slide, alright. We gon' get
now that I got a girl, my ex wanna holler and spit. Told me to acknowledge her quick. She like, Cam, stop frontin' on that Dave Hosted tip. Come over, let's smile and sip. I'm like, mama is sick, I promise you thick. Usually have a problem with chicks. They all say I'm rotten and rich, but not her boobies real. High heel to be feel. Plus got them Gucci nails.
We make it clap.
DJ Intrepid. Tuning out to Why Radio.
Yeah.
Flip
Tuning out to Why Radio.
One more time, kill them with a rhyme. Remix time. Yo, flip star, flip mode squad. Kill them with a rhyme. I'm dirty,
Clap and say jump or clap on the one and sit down. Get up again and wiggle. Make everybody flip out and never carry on. Till you tired of one chill out. All of the girls spread out. Make your body keep clapping on.
With all the hottest set a girl, let me know the dance. I don't take up with the make the girl them jump up and prance. Bust the rhyme and turn up all the lyrical magician. Therefore make them sweat to jump up, wave up them hands. Sit more the road with all the hottest set a girl, let me know the dance. I don't take up with the make the girl them jump up and prance. Bust the rhyme and turn up all the lyrical magician. Therefore make them sweat to jump up, wave up them hands. To push it up there.
Back with the remix with Flip and Sean and Paul in the corner. Can't believe when we do it, we smack it down how we wanna. Keeping it coming, keeping it going, cause we ain't playing. I'm talking to all my people, cause what I'm saying is,
in case you ain't knowing, in case you ain't heard, and if you want us to set it, just give me the word. This one goes down to my soldiers that be flipping them birds. To all my shorties wiggling and shaking their curves.
We make it clap. We make it clap. We make it clap. We make it clap.
or snapper. Look at shorty shaking it and making it clap. Booty big, poking out like 20s on the. When I give it to her, shorty know how to throw it back. We be banging to the beat, sometimes we overlap. Sing, y'all, reload your blows and your tight jeans. Let me look it down, dip it with some ice cream. Y'all holla, holla my name when I thunderstorm, rain, sleet, and light.
Well, I don't really care what people say. I don't really watch what them want do. Still I got to stick to my girls like glue. And I might not play number two. All I know the time it is getting jet. Need a lot of trees up in my head. Had a lot of dental in my bed to run that real. Well, I know flicker girl, them on the road, them got the goody. One thing me have to tell them, don't take out the woody. Front way, back way, cut the came on off and show me. Virgin, them want give me and me have to took it. Hot girls out the road, I say them see me. And I tell me, say them have something for give me. How much time on I...
Revive is alive. Once again, Revive is alive. I want you guys out there to follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Revive_POC. And don't forget to subscribe to that Revive newsletter where you can find at ReviveIsAlive.com. Once again, that is ReviveIsAlive.com. Spread the word, spread the message. It's me, your girl POC, host of Revive Radio.